Alright, what's good, ladies and gents? Today we're talking about words. Yes, words. Specifically, specifically about being able to articulate yourself. And for those of you who watch my videos, you know sometimes I am not very good at this whatsoever, okay? But a while back, I saw this video from JP, and he was basically Jordan Peterson. For those of you who don't know, right? Psychologist. Look him up. Very infamous. But he was talking about how if you can learn to talk properly, and I'm kind of putting this in layman's terms, but if you could learn to talk properly, that is like one of the most dangerous ways to arm yourselves, And so clearly sometimes I don't have the capability to do that, but I think I know why that is. I've picked up on that. I've started to pick up on why that can be the case for me sometimes. Sometimes I'm not able to speak as clearly as other times, or speak as fast as other times. And I think this video is going to be a short one, and I'll keep it quick and simple. It's one, diet, so what I'm eating, and then when I'm eating it as well. I've noticed that after I eat whatever I eat, no matter what I eat, I tend to have this like almost crash, and it's very hard for me to think. I'm almost like and my friends know this very well. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about, right? So that plays a big important role into it. One other thing that played a very important role into it is my ability to articulate myself gets a lot better when I start journaling more and more. Because there's been periods of my life, I won't lie, I've preached journaling all the time, but there's been periods of my life where I completely skip over it, because like I find that it's like I don't value it or whatever, which is completely bogus and shouldn't do that, And I was like, oh, why do I need to journal anymore? I've already done enough. And no. And because of that, I realized, okay, yeah, it's kind of hindering my ability to properly talk and articulate, because when you're writing things down, right, you take time to think and put that down on paper, and you're also like reading it simultaneously too, so you can also expand your vocabulary that way, and you kind of, I guess, make phrases as well, like as you're writing down, the way you write, the vocabulary you use, so exact phrases you could use when you use them, and they kind of get like compartmentalized in your brain, so whenever you need to call upon them, they're just there. Like you'll notice that within, sometimes, I don't know how many of you watch Jordan Peterson, but like whenever he describes certain things multiple times, like the same concept multiple times, he'll tend to use like very similar phrases, and he's just dishing it out like crazy. And when you watch him for the first time, you're like, holy hell, like this guy is talking on a completely different level. It's crazy. But so journaling, diet, and when you're eating, and then along with reading. Reading has also been helping me a lot in order to articulate myself better, and it's because it expands on the idea of you being able to expand on your vocabulary through books and through reading other authors, and so things that weren't originally in your vocabulary, like I know for a fact, like the word articulate wasn't in my vocabulary until I, looked up Jordan Peterson. And for most of you, that would be the case. I kind of associate that word with him, like learning it from him. And then same thing with learning other words from authors. I can't think of any specific examples right now, but, that is definitely the case. And so when you go through all these sources of information, you're just constantly getting more information, getting more of those phrases, getting more of that expanding on your vocabulary and learning. So I think that definitely helps one articulate themselves a lot better. So if you, as long as you keep some of those things up, then you'll be able to talk pretty well. And one other thing, I don't know if this is just like a me thing or not, but I record videos, so I don't know if I'm completely, to be honest, like comfortable doing this, because like I'm talking to no one. Like I'm literally, like, I'm talking to you, but like when I'm talking to someone, it feels like I'm talking to no one, even though I tell myself, I pretend to talk as if I'm talking to my younger self. you know, because my younger self is the one that needed all this advice. But it's still kind of weird, you know, no one's around. I'm just looking dead straight into a camera, and I'm like, yeah, so this is my life, you know, that's what I mean. But I don't know if that plays an aspect into it, but I'm sure to some degree it does. And as I get better, you know, I'll be able to articulate myself better. But notice how you, if you want to be able to see how you do, try to actively, you know, go out of your way to interact with others, or find some new person to talk to, or talk to some of your friends, and try to actively be aware of how you're talking. And I'm sure that'll, you know, that'll help. So, because I know when I'm around my friends, sometimes I'm just like, so and I'm just not able to speak. Sometimes I just get stuck, like I like stutter and stuff. It's really, really bad. So, and that actually brings on to one last point that I did have, but I just forgot. And it's to remove, just like I'm doing right now, the the all that, like remove all of that, the like, from your vocabulary, and trying to make an active effort to do that, if that makes sense. And to some degree, it takes a level of being comfortable with the discomfort of like the silence. So you're not constantly like, okay, let's say for example, I'm in conversation with someone, right? And to fill up the silence, you'll be like, I've been a lot better about not doing that, and just being a lot more silent when the situation calls for it. But when I'm still trying to articulate my thoughts when I'm making the videos, I still do those ums and likes and you know, all that, and you're hearing it while I'm doing it, so you know it's true, right? But right there, you know, but all that matters is that you try to actively make an effort to improve that, you know, because like JP said, it's going to be one of the most effective tools within your arsenal. So with that being said, peace out, take it easy.